Good evening, everyone. So for me, I was kind of the support person for a group that decided to do the 15-day Jumpstart last month, so for July. And I also wanted to be a part of it, and I like to make sure that I kind of practice what I preach. So I was just looking for a physician at the time, and I took them the plan. So it's a physician I've never been to. I took her the plan, and she was elated. She was so excited. She's like, this is what the evidence is saying. This is the only thing, that is proven to work to reverse diabetes, heart disease. So she was beyond excited. She's like, I would love to bring this program. It's a big clinic out here that I go to. So that was really interesting. I was really shocked by her reaction and encouraged. So I did want to work. Diabetes is like the disease of choice that attacks my family. And so I did want to really continue to be vigilant. And so I did have some goals of my own. And so I was really, really happy because I just retested my blood work. So I had dropped 13 points. So now I'm out of that, just bridging into the pre-diabetic, phase. So I'm away from that. So I'm really, really grateful. Thank you. All of the numbers were fantastic. And I'd say that if someone were starting, I would say for sure, give it 24 hours. Read through all the materials, because the takeaway for me, because I was supposed to be the support person, and I had people that were just really scared to do this. And so the takeaway, I think, that really helped me help other people was do it for 24 hours. It's not like you can't eat anything. Eat eat clean for 24 hours. And that really did the trick, because then it's a mental game. It gets into your head when you see, I can't have any oil, or I can't have avocados, and you're just not conditioned to eat this way. So that's what I would have to say. And lastly, I would say, you've got to do it. If you're ever planning on doing whole food, plant-based, and a Jumpstart like this, you want to do it in this community. I was really overwhelmed and a little shocked by how authentic the staff is. And I think that you're just going to find that if there's ever a lifestyle change that you want to make, you can do it with this group. So thank you all.
So I was one of the people strongly encouraged by faith to take the leap, and I resisted until the day before it started. And I was like, fine, I can do anything for 2 weeks. And so I did try it, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was easier to do than I thought it would be. At first, I was thinking all of the things I couldn't eat. And when I switched that mindset of, there's a lot of things on this list that you do love that you can still eat, and just prepare them differently. And once I did that, then I was able to stick with it. I didn't get hungry. I didn't get a lot of cravings, and I found it quite easy to stick with. And then I was very surprised by the results. I've been on statins my whole adult life, and the doctor said that would get my cholesterol below 200, and it never has. It's still always been above, and they've just doubled it 6 months ago, and it's still above 200. And so I'm like, what do I have to lose with this? Nothing else the doctors said worked. So this did work. My cholesterol did go down below 200. It went down 42 points. And my LDL went down 20 points, and I lost 9 pounds. And that's all I needed to keep going. It's like, okay, it works. And when nothing else has worked that I've tried, I've been on 100 diets. I tried low fat, I tried the statins and double the statins. So this really worked for me. And so now I'm Faith's biggest cheerleader. Because if I could do this, anybody could do this.
So I did Jumpstart in January 2019.
Has it been that long? Wow, okay.
I was very fortunate to be there in person and actually have my fingers stuck and get the results right there. And so I would encourage any. There's no disputing the results. It's just kind of amazing what happens in 2 weeks' time. So let's see, I started for weight loss as well. I ended up losing about 20 pounds, which was kind of my goal, but I had struggled to lose that weight for a long time. And I just would encourage you, if you're going to do this, to stick with it like maybe 6 to 8 weeks, because there was this moment where it's just profound sense of well-being. For my husband did this with me as well. So for both of us, and it happened around the same weekend, I think. We were just like, oh my gosh, this is really different. So my knees stopped hurting. I struggled with asthma. I have not used my asthma medication in a very long time. We're both extremely active. I come from a really big family. My siblings are all starting to struggle with, diabetes and cholesterol issues. So far, so good for me. Absolutely no meds. So, go for it. It's profound. For me, it was really profound, and I'm just really grateful.
Rose, tell us about your experience and tell us about the conditions that you're trying to alleviate.
Well, I'm diabetic. I've been diabetic for over 30 years. And it has ravaged my family too. In fact, over the last 2 years, I've lost 2 siblings younger than me from diabetes and heart disease. And I have 3 of my remaining 4 siblings that are diabetic. So, and I lost a mother and a father to the disease also. So I have been dabbling and playing with being plant-based for some years now. I'll do it for a little while and then I slowly ease meat back in there. This is the first time I've done it for 2 weeks, that totally no meat, and being satisfied. So having the cooking classes really helped with that also. I've been experiencing a lot of falling in the last couple of months to the tune of 3 to 4 times a week. And doing this for 2 weeks, right before our last session, it dawned on me, I hadn't fallen in 2 weeks. Not at all. And also I dropped my medication, my Lantus, 20 units.
Right, so that's your insulin, right?
Yes, that's the one insulin that I dropped 20 units. And then the Novolog that I take with meals is not been as higher doses either. So that's enough to really make me want to remain on it.
That's great.
And not falling really makes me want to remain on it. So,
Rose, I know you just finished up with the most recent Jumpstart. How have you been feeling?
I feel pretty good. And what's amazing is I was a sugar craver. The cravings are not there. That's amazing to me that I'm not craving sugars.
Hello, I'm Nancy. I got into the Jumpstart program through my doctor. I went and I turned 65, had my cholesterol tested, and it was up near 250, a huge jump from last time I had it tested. I didn't want to go on medication. Around that time, my husband had a heart attack. And so my doctor recommended this program. And I loved fruits and vegetables and was really into eating beans because my kids were vegan and vegetarian. But I always struggled with feeling good. I would have headaches and upset stomachs, and it was a challenge. It was like a work and a job to eat and to figure out, what would make my body happy. And I always gained weight in the winter and would work real hard to lose it in the summer. And since I've been on this program, my cholesterol went in the 2 weeks, dropped 70 points. and I lost 7 pounds, and I've kept it off. And I just love that I don't have to, I can trust this program. I know what I'm eating is healthy, and it's simple because I just follow the plan. I know it's healthy. I can eat till I'm full, and I go to bed not feeling hungry, but I wake up in the morning hungry, and that feels good. So it's really changed how my whole refrigerator and pantry's changed, how I'm shopping. But I have to say, it's really made it more simple, because it's taken all this garbage out, and I'm just loving it.
When I started the Jumpstart, which was more than 3 years ago now, I was a bit skeptical, I have to admit. But in the 2 weeks that we did the program, I dropped about 11 pounds. But the most profound effect of the program after I continued it was that for the last 20 years, I've been a type 2 insulin dependent diabetic. After about 3 months following the program, I noticed that my insulin intake went to 0, and that my hemoglobin A1C, a measure of how bad your diabetes might be, went to normal levels, about 5.3, 5.4. And even now, 3 years later, my fasting glucose levels without any insulin is between 50 and 60 milligrams per deciliter, which is far away from the pre-diabetic measure. So that's my story. I took off a bunch of weight during the Jumpstart. I've kept most of that weight off, and I'm pretty thankful for it. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you for that. And just for people, for people in the audience, I just want everyone to know that Byron was extremely skeptical. He's kind of a hard-nosed scientist, and really had a hard time buying this until he saw it work on himself. So I'm sure I'm abbreviating his all the thoughts he's had, but I just wanted to share that with everybody.
That was quite right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Sandy.
I had harassed Byron because I was an unhealthy vegan. I was a vegan for animal rights and thought I could eat anything I wanted as long as it didn't involve animals, and I would be healthy, no dairy. And so I harassed Byron, and we decided we were in the very first program that you all had. And for my birthday, he gave me a promise that he would go to Jumpstart and go for the 2 weeks. So that's how it started, with a birthday present to me. Aww. And he never stopped after he started his birthday present. And it's still a birthday present to me because he's much healthier. And then what happened for me, and it could not have been a placebo effect because I had no idea this would happen, but I had one shoulder replaced, a joint replaced. I was going to have the other one replaced. And in between times, I had done the Jumpstart. And all of a sudden, the pain went away in my other arm that I was going to, that joint was going to be replaced. So I go to the doctor and I say, I don't know what's happened. It was pre-op. And I said, it's so strange that I don't have pain anymore. And the only thing I can think of is a change in my diet. And he said, oh, well, yes, that's in the literature. I thought, my goodness, why didn't they tell you that? Also, I improved my eating from the unhealthy vegan to a healthy vegan, and my cholesterol dropped, which is really the reason I had joined, besides getting Byron there, was to reduce my cholesterol, and that reduced. So we are so grateful for this program. It has changed our lives. We can get old together, a lot healthier, and do more things.
And now we're going to go to Dr. Kim Scheuer out in Colorado, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about her story. Thank you so much, Kim.
Hey, thank you. So as I said, I'm a family physician, and at 47, I was trying to figure out how I could avoid cancer because my mom
That was last year, right?
Yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But my mom had cancer at 48, and I was like, how do I do this? And I started doing the research, started looking into it. I had been a Milky Way vegetarian for most of my life. So I was a junk food junkie, loved. And I'd also struggled with weight all my life. And so I started doing plant-based diets and some other lifestyle things. In 1 month, my weight plummeted. I've lost 50 pounds. My cholesterol, which I thought was normal, plummeted. And I found out later that normal in America means you get a heart attack or you get strokes. And so we want you even lower than what's considered, quote, normal. It changed my life. I then started using it on my patients. And after getting more research and getting boarded in lifestyle medicine, I did that. And it's been great. I did the Jumpstart program because I wanted to see what that was to give to my patients. It was fantastic. It was thorough, easy to understand. The information was incredible. The support was excellent. And so I've sent a lot of my patients to the Jumpstart. I have sent and gone further. And then I went on and went to the LIFT program afterwards because I wanted even more from what they have here. And it's been great. So I would highly suggest it. I also suggest getting your labs before and after. It makes a huge difference. And for people who don't have a primary care physician or don't have one that they know about, I now work for Plant-Based Telehealth, and we have licenses in all 50 states. So you could always hook up with us if you wanted to, but stay with your regular doctor if they are supportive. But a lot of doctors, as I didn't know until I was 47, don't know about this and don't know the amazing changes that can happen with it.
Hi, so I'm Helen, and I did the Jumpstart in January. So I've been doing this for 6 months, kind of lifestyle change. And what motivated me was my daughter actually wanted to do it for continuing education credits. And so she said, will you do it with me? And she lived in New Hampshire and I lived in New York. So we did it together. And then I found that we had about 40 people on our Zoom group, and they were really helpful and supportive. And I wanted to lower my cholesterol because it was in the range of needing what the doctor would want to have me on statins. And I wanted to lose some weight, and my glucose was up near the borderline. And so in 2 weeks, my cholesterol went down 45 points. My glucose went down 10 points. And my weight went down 4 points and now 4 pounds. And now 6 months, it's gone down 10 pounds. And I feel really great. And, it's like not carrying around 10 pounds of potatoes is really great. So my husband now has joined the program. He was resistant, but he has a heart condition and he's no longer on statins. And so his statins made him feel super sick. And so he's committed to doing the low-fat, whole food, plant-based. And I would say the hardest thing for me was, like most people, we like food and we like group, and being kind of committed to doing this, you develop a new rhythm and new favorites. And now I just have a whole bunch of new favorites. And so I don't look back and say, oh, I wish I could eat this, because I have lots of go-to favorites. And I learned how to prepare things in my refrigerator and have them available. So I'm never hungry and I'm never without food that's easily accessible. So those things really helped me, and the group helped me figure out how to do that.
Well, my name's Paul, and I'm trying to think what best is. I've kind of been a foot dragger for a while. I was contemplating being a vegan for a long time till I finally took the plunge with the vegan plan that was in Rochester. It was a vegan center there for a while, and I was part of that. That's where I met Bob, Frankie. Some dramatic things happened when I became vegan. My weight got better. All these things, health things got great. But you can learn. So you learn how you taking care of yourself kind of becomes automatic if you're going to be a vegan. That's what I thought. But after a while, I learned how I could kill myself and not be vegan and still be vegan. And so eventually what I needed to do is I needed to take the next step, which was a whole food plant-based. And so I enrolled in the 15-day Jumpstart because you can do anything in 15 days. And I did. And my numbers went down. I just came off a physical with my doctor, and she said, you know, you got to get your blood pressure down, or I'm going to have to do some things. And I had troubles with, like, my feet were swelling up. I was getting too much salt in my diet, I noticed. And I mean, my other numbers were still pretty good, but after the Jumpstart program, my numbers went way. I mean, my cholesterol was like, people would say they would pay for those numbers. Well, you pay for these numbers when you don't get on the program. And I lost 10 pounds easy, and probably more, but within that period of time. And not only have I maintained that weight loss since the program ended, but I've kept it off. I was in a program probably just before Helen was. And it's just been a wonderful experience. One of the things you learn, remember I mentioned how I was vegan and I maintained that vegan lifestyle, but I added to it whole food plant-based. Well, I go to the store now and I buy real food. I used to like to buy vegan ice cream, and that'll put the weight back on. I don't do that anymore. I eat more oatmeal now than I ever used to. As a matter of fact, every morning I have either oatmeal or shredded wheat, very simply. And and there's one other thing that I remember from the program, the three things: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. And you definitely get involved in those three. And I became much more competent in how I pursue my lifestyle. And one of the things that I take away very much so is the relatedness, because, you know, sometimes being a vegan, society makes you sometimes an outcast of sorts. And it's nice to have fellow members of the community that kind of support you. And so I got that for sure.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say it's never too early or too late to make this change. I took Jumpstart. Actually, my daughter offered me the Jumpstart program as a birthday present. My daughter and son-in-law have been plant-based for a few years, so I've been exposed to it. And I had been starting to incorporate some plant-based meals into my husband and I diet. What I wanted to get out of the program was I really wanted it to be that jumpstart, that push that made me jump in and just finally do it. And that's what it did. I had great results. My primary care physician was very surprised and very impressed in the changes in the 2-week period. So I've been talking up the program, and it's not hard to do. There's lots of recipes out there. It's amazing once you start looking how many recipes are. The food's delicious. Cleanup's a breeze because you're not using oils and grease. So everything just cleans up uber easy. It's been going really well for me. I've gone away on vacation with family, and we just meal planned, and I got had get-togethers. We've been out to restaurants a few times, and I just look at the menu ahead of time and have a game plan of what I'm going to get, so I don't sit there and get sucked into something I shouldn't. Just starting to expose more people, and people are liking things. I make a sweet potato black bean doing the whole food plant-based. So once you kind of start to get people to try things, they're very surprised at how good it tastes. They think everything we're eating is like Yule Gibbons, nuts and twigs kind of a thing.
Right.
So yeah, so I hope you all give it a try, and and if it doesn't work or you don't like it, fine, but give it a try and see what it'll do for you. And it's not hard to keep on going. You really feel good, and it's not difficult. It really isn't.